Megyn Kelly, you do an outstanding job. I've followed your career. When it comes to journalism delivered with truth, zest, and appropriately, there is nothing more one could ask for. I was, however, disgusted uh, with the Donald Trump presidency and the way that he handled the media, the way that he manipulated people uh, across the board, uh, how that the American public settled for a misogynist, a land investor, a person more interested in profits than kids, uh, and a man who left a disgusting scar as he left 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue and actually giving commands, really, that put him in a light that I would consider to be a terrorist organization leader, really. I have many articles on my Rodcast on YouTube that discuss the Patriot Act and how, at least here in Warren County, Ohio, they will use things like surveillance in motels and such to monitor the activities of suspicious areas and demographics. I have discussed racial profiling when it comes to Butler County, Ohio, even citing a case where a person who participates in that program was overlooked for a handgun and 82 grams of methamphetamine with simply a $4,000 fine. To substantiate what I'm saying, I'm sure that he will tell you the same. Most people don't get offered deals like that, taking two counties over and then given the turnaround by Richard Jones himself. One of the great Trump supporters, a man who preaches division, not only in his philosophies, but on CNN, when he advertises that he does not want Latinos drinking in his favorite watering hole, the Pleasure Inn, which on a Good Friday night probably doesn't have 10 people in it. Makes no business sense. It's just a bigoted remark, and that's probably why there's only 10 people there. I would love to be able to work with someone and give them the information from here in what is really the power pocket of America, with residents like Mark Hazelwood and Vice President Ciminarelli and many, many more coming from this area that is desperately in need of enlightenment. And what I mean by that is they accept things way too much where I come from. There was a horrible, slanderous campaign against our mayor of Waynesville, Charlie Sanders. He was a close personal friend of mine. I was pulled over with some chaos that was just ignorance, and he luckily pulled up on the scene, and we got everything settled down, and even the police will agree. It was a mistake, but there was a lot going on at that time here, and once he addressed it, he went down to his mayor's building here in Waynesville, Ohio, and was called a racial slur. He talked to me about it, and I know, I told him, I've had my share of problems with these people. Most of them are associated with Legion Post 615. They like to hang out, and they're kind of the sports crowd, if you will, the jocks who run around and pass judgment on people who may not want to play sports, may not be the sports-minded types. And you can reflect upon that here, where we had a student who wore a shirt that said "Jesus loves homophobes," which is, it's funny because they got mad actually and made him take it off, and it's just it blows your mind when you really look at it. They've had incidents here before of hazing, but they never had anything quite as bad as they did after that traffic stop, after the racial slur, and then in 1998, I believe it was, our mayor filed some complaints and let the media know what was going on. He was absolutely right. And then they turned around and they made things uncomfortable to where he resigned. They started attacking his family, profiling him. He resigned. It's all documented in the papers. If you Google any of that 2008 or 1998 resignation, you can get it on. 1999 Chief of Police Alan Carter went down and raided on Waynesville Road, the AB complex, uh, and they were searching for guns and stuff. I'm not sure what all they got. A local man, they call him Chicken Man, his name's Ed Ingram. He was in there and gave quite a bit of information in Colt magazine article, if you want to look it up. And then there's also some ties to the Southern Knights Ku Klux Klan over in Franklin, Middletown area. There's a man named Bobby. He's notorious for the pill mills that were shut down in the year 2000, 1999. And he's famous for brandishing the famous SK Ku Klux Klan outfit in its entirety and has it enclosed in a case right there at his house. We also had Mr. Park down here off of 71 who is notorious for being a white supremacist, ties to the Southern Knights Ku Klux Klan in Georgia. I do have some broadcasts on some conversations I had with some people in the Southern Knights Ku Klux Klan down in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, where they were telling me, forewarning me really, about the Olympic bombing and the planning that was underway for rebuttal if they didn't raise the Georgia state flag at the Olympics. And I didn't really tell the white people, I didn't really think it was a serious threat because they did raise the flag. But they turned around and bombed it anyway. They can blame it on the janitor all they want to. I was there, I heard the conversations, and it was the Southern Knights Ku Klux Klan sort of giving backlash to MC Hammer's performance there and the issues with the American flag. I have touched on a great number of things here in my town. People say, what's the answer? I don't know. I think the answer is always education. So I came up with a plan called U.S. for Hope. What it does is it goes through communities, especially through schools, recognizes citizenship, outstanding efforts to be a positive member of the town, to do things that are above and beyond. To me, there's only two families in Waynesville, Ohio that symbolize that in a special way, and that's the Sanders family and the Cerrone family. I've written some articles about the things they have done to touch my life. They're amazing people in their own ways, and I think it's high time that we make amends, not only for the murder that happened here in the mid-'60s to the civil rights man from Columbus, but also for the slander that occurred and the direction change that wasn't warranted really for our mayor, Charlie Sanders, as he went on to run for U.S. representative. Hopefully by memorializing him in some way, I would love to see the people that worked with Ryan McClin at the Dayton Art Institute, who went through Dayton and spruiked it up some with the artwork of the metal people with stories, is what I call them. They're on all the side roads there. They're made in a controversial way, where it kind of draws you in to see what the action is, if you will. And then, you've got the story about each one of the unique pieces. And I think that Charlie's unique piece would be something that could be very appealing in our city to cover up and make amends for some of the horrific narrow-mindedness of these white supremacists and people who associate with them, even if it's just by tolerating the ignorance. You're letting it breed by tolerating it, and it must be addressed. Thank you, Megyn. I love you.